What's up, everybody? Emo Tempest back today, and we are doing episode 5, I think we're finally on, of Tales from the Abyss, where we cover Opus 14, Crystal Abyss, and we're going over all the decks we have, our matchups over the weekend, not regionals, locals, as well as just ideas we have floating around. As always, you guys are welcome to submit decks for me to test and work on. You're obviously invited and encouraged to help me fix these decks or lend your ideas to me so we can, build something better. And yeah, that's about it. Without that, this week we are talking about a couple things. So last week was last week and this week were a little bit of a bust. We had last week we made a mono ice deck that I wasn't too happy with, and this week we didn't actually have locals. We showed up. There was only 5 of us and like a new player that we just had just moved into Florida from New York. And so we spent some time teaching him how to play, but we didn't get to fire off. And I think it was the holiday weekend. People might have just taken their time, and that's cool. But unfortunately for me, I didn't have time. I didn't get much testing in. So we're going to talk about the decks. We're going to go over a couple things, if and whys and whatnots. The weekend actually started off before locals was this. This was the main idea. It was going to be tricolored nights. I talked about this I believe in my previous night's deck profile a long time ago. This was I think that was 2 sets ago, right? But I started thinking about all the ways that this could benefit, this could work. Then I built it, and we'll talk about that in a sec. So it's the Beatrix, the Zalbags, the Gwen, the Axstar. I'm keeping the Axstar engine because I love being able to search. I love being able to play my EX burst. It's like my new favorite thing again. I did miss a lot of the Opus 13 meta because I didn't really play anywhere. And I didn't touch fire, so I'm falling in love with this card for the first time. The Garlands, 1 Stern this time, an extra Garland, the Ramzas, and the Agrius, and a Jegrin. Just trying to broaden my, the Knight scope a little bit. So, and obviously, Zalbag's also a Knight. Then the summons were Leviathan, Bahamut, Remora. Leviathan, Remora is my new, also my new love. Kind of like how Kuchulain was and stuff in the past. This one it's a little more expensive, but it's also very good. And then we just threw in the triple Odins to try to wreak some havoc or create havoc at locals. And then we added the haste, chaos for just the hot fixes for everything. Clady, another princess target. Moogle to fix the fire. Simon, the knights. This is also the reason I wanted to try lightning. It's just work into being able to search the knights instead of draw the knights sometimes, which is I think what needs work in itself for the water fire version. The Selkie hits fire and water, so two the types. In this version though, you do play the triple Velia, so you can the 3-drop Revelia, so we can try to replay some of this stuff. The more I thought about it, for this version, the tricolor version, I think the true drop would have been better since the rest of the deck is already a little cumbersome, being as you're trying to find the colors and whatnot. And the Sarah to help you find all of these things. I built it, did some test draws, hated it. I never had anything right. It never did anything right. So we scrapped it right away. If this is something you want to pursue, the deck list will be in the description. Don't even worry about it. I'm excited I think this might have a home eventually, but it still needs more. And I would obviously take out, if I wanted to make this a lot more functional too, my first thing would be to take out the EX thing. So you would cut the Axstars, cut all of this, add another Stern, and then fix the forwards a little bit. The main reason for this was I wanted to play the Water Lightning Knights and then add Garland, right? That's the main reason you play the Fire. And then I was asking myself, what's the point? And why not just, do one or the other? And so that's what I did. We've been playing Firewater Knights for a while, and so I wanted to talk about Water Lightning Knights. So it looks a little similar to, again, still trying to keep that EX engine right now just for supplements while this deck needs some time to build up. It does have really good first turn plays like the Larsa, the Jagrin into the Avelia. Also Lakshmi's I'm still in love with. But yeah, this one focuses a little more on that too. Being as Porom, Larsa, Ramza, Agrius, or all EX bursts. That's 4 forwards that have 3 counts pretty much. I decided to go with this package again. At this time playing the Cuchulains, and then we had the Lenoras and the Thordens in there just in case. But same thing ended up happening where I kind of just felt like without the Axtar it's a little slow. I wanted to move in the Seymours, the old 2-drop EX burst Seymours, and didn't really get anywhere with that. I was able to play test this maybe 2 games. I like the direction it's heading. I think, again, the main thing is if we would want to cut this EX thing out and focus a little more on control and ramp, I think being able to do, Leviathan with a Novelia is insane. Thancred with a Novelia is insane. So I'll prioritize this engine a little more for next week. But I will probably cut out not all the EX bursts, just like the Larsas will have to go. Or we'll cut a few of them, right? Instead of, we were aiming for, where's the count? I think if we go back to the list here, yeah, this happens sometimes. I think if I refresh it, it'll fix itself. Yeah, so we had the 25 EX burst count. I think if we go back to, that's 50% of the deck ideally. All the stuff that you don't want, you try to surge. And then being able to play Jet in this deck too, because it can go wide and very strong, is a good idea. So I like the Jet. But yeah, just needs a little something else. I'm thinking some of the best things were like with the Thancred that we used to do were, reborn something with haste to give haste and have him swing. So like the Sid and Mid-Previas, Iluas, and things like that. I think this is also missing that element. We did have if we go back to the previous version, we did have the red mages in this one to kind of help Garland get there and other forwards that we needed to just push through. But this one doesn't have that, and that's where I think I messed up when I was building both of these decks. This still has a lot of good answers for the meta. I think it's very strong. I want to get more playtesting in, obviously. I think that's where we'll work next week. We're going to update this a little bit more, talk about it again next week, and then, yeah, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think, obviously, of the Lightning version. If you've thought about it, if you've tried it, share your thoughts as well. Next, we have the Kitone Control. So this one was a little... this is my experiment at trying to make a mono Earth deck without Yang, without the Monk engine, pretty much. And it's the same thing, right? I asked myself, is it worth it? And even though you can play Sophie's Cryos and Zusuhisa, it's like, what's the point without being able to abuse those broken cards? I do love what Kitone can do. Also, the main part of this deck was to be able to have her on board and then just play her as over and over again, being able to control your opponent's board. With 1 or 2 forwards on, like Gudon or Ishtola, and because they're both pretty strong. This guy has Brave, can attack twice. Ishtola has Minwu effect sort of, and then cannot be blocked by 4s or more. So main thing was kind of like we sit on some of these cool forwards, have board clears, and ways to pump them up and secure backups. So really quickly the list, you can see it, but 2 Zuzuhisa to draw, 2 Cryo to help the control aspect. Sophie just because it's Sophie, right? That's what she's really good. Ishtola's, Gabrans, Gudon's, Triple Titan, Triple Mont, 2 Azuras to get back. The Azura was a good choice for choose 2 forwards, activate them, choose up to 5 backups, activate them, or choose a card of cost 2 or less in your break zone, add it to your hand. You get Kitone back, or you can end up activating backups, right? Carbuncle was just like I didn't like this one too much. It's a good card because all the backups are Earth, but I don't think it really helps us out too much here. The Kusith was the same thing. Bring back your forwards and your backups. Bring back Kitone to Kitone. I don't know how you guys want to pronounce it, but and then being able to recur her special. The main idea was to make sure she's on board and then slowly wither your opponent down with her. She has that ability, and that's kind of what we were trying to exploit, right? So Miss Dragon, Fenrir, 2 Zoos. It's been a while since I've seen this card, and I just really think it fits well into this for 2 reasons. One, if you're setting up if you're already ahead, you can drop them in onto the board and set up for bigger Kitone plays if your opponent happens to if you're playing monks, for example, or something that goes wide really fast, and you have Kitone available to you, being able to activate all your backups turns your board from 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 20k damage to 40k damage, potentially, or 36k damage, right? And so, but if you don't have the option and you're like mid game and you haven't even seen your green yet for whatever reason, you can pitch Zoo to activate 2 backups to kill another AK forward, or at least stack up to other stuff. So it helps with that in that regard also. It's as 2 CP for 2 CP. It's not bad either way, but it just helps you kind of like stay on the trigger with Kitone. The Gigas was, I think I ultimately changed this out for some other stuff. I don't remember. But we have the Leos, the triple Kitone, Entercross, Beastmaster searches lightning and water, and then Alchemist searches ice and wind. So you get, you have your filters for your searchers. 1 Rydia, 2 just in case. The Kolka, Tyro, and then I still like this Shantotto, and I was hoping this would help. But I think the way the meta is, I can't afford. If I want to do something like this, play slow and control, we need triple of the other Shantotto, or at least double, and a way to like flip it and remove it. And I think that's what this deck was missing. The Lord of the Crags is nice, but I don't have enough ways to, other than the Carbuncle, to pump it up enough to deal with bigger stuff. Remember, everyone is living at 9 and 10k power forwards now, and so he is a board clear. You're right, but he has his downside is that they have to be weaker than him, and when you're not pumping him, the Entercross even makes him at 10, but I never saw it because I'm only playing it at 1, and none of my spells other than Carbuncle really fix that problem either. So I think if I do continue with this deck, it might just adopt the monks, play less backup monks, more forward monks, and then I can throw in stuff like Regis and the other Noctis too, the 4-drop backup Noctis. As long as we're still able to generate win CP from at least 2 backups, which would be the Tyro and the Shantotto. The other Shantotto, the 7-drop, obviously, we can live in a world where we're only playing, all these few win cards. We would obviously cut out some Monts and Cryo. Actually, 2. Cut out a Mont, 2, 1 Cryo, maybe the Zuzuhihas, 1 Gabranth also. Gabranth is just, I don't know, I feel like Gabranth isn't what he used to be anymore. But I put him in here just in case, obviously, to test around. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough testing. I played 1 game with this deck, and yeah. I'm telling you, the real problem this weekend for me was that locals didn't happen. Next week, though, I'll be having 2 locals. I'll be playing Monday and Friday, so that should make up for things. If any of the Prodigy Games gamers are listening to this part, then yes, you can expect me on the 17th, and probably the whole cavalry as well. And then lastly was the ice test. Again, this is an updated version, still going in the same direction. Someone had mentioned the You Sail Forward. Still don't like it. This was a trap too. I can't have You Sail Forward, and the Shiva just can't work. I hate that about this Shiva. Everyone's telling me this card is good. I don't see it. I can't find myself to play it or want to play it or play it in anything. But that's just me. I need to experience it. I'm hoping to run into it one day and then I'll be like blown away and see like, oh, okay, it all makes sense. And then it clicks for me as well. But until then, I don't like the Shiva. We're playing the Barnabas still. Added Babis, White Tigers, Umias, 2 Charlottes, Titanias, and Emperors. Again, the main thing is we're going to be trying to live or stand on 2 backups, right? And then just have the Exarch control, like let us bring out our forwards so we can focus on playing other stuff. The Emperor is a nice touch. He's able to help us net a little more value. The Titania is a quick way to cheat in and sneak in some damage. These are all protection. And then Babis, if you guys remember, this card is an old card, Opus 4, but he does help us deal with my opponent if there's aggro and stuff. So I do like him for that reason. This one as well, put White Tiger into the break zone, choose a summon. If your opponent doesn't pay 3 CP, cancel its effect. So I don't know. All these cards are really good. They're helping out. The test draws were all good. Emmett was here too to update at 5 damage, he's able to bring these people back as well. So that's just really good. Again, the Shivan was a trap. I would have put something else, maybe the Vayne back in here. Mateus and Chivalry, just simple outs, quick outs. I added this little small engine just to help with some discard. And then just this to help like deal with protect our forwards. Backups don't deal damage to your forwards. We did the Harley into the Edward play. Kept Black Mage. Added Black Mage because I love this card. Helps us. You can play the Chivalry for 2 and then get a Chivalry back instead of it going to the break zone. I think this card is very under utilized and needs to be in the spotlight a little more. Remember, the cool thing about this, is you can play any summon of any color as long as you're paying CP, right, to break the Black Mage, right? This says cast a summon of X cost or less from your hand without paying its cost. So you're paying it from a different color. So and then return to the summon to your hand instead of putting into the break zone. So 1 Catsith for, again, a little more control. I like the Lugae Barnabas thing, but I never see them at the same time. It's just weird. Mono Ice, anyway, in my opinion, needs a little more filtration, a little more searching. Without playing the 6 engine, there's not many things for us to do. So, because you have the Sid, the Setzer, and then like the discard and the inherent control comes from the forwards and stuff, right? So, but anyway, I added this Edward and this Snow just to help out with all these 2 drops. You can swing in and start dulling stuff, and then you punch up any other way and any blocking. Choose a blocking forward, break it. This is how you get through like pretty much anything, right? So you have all those options for removal. Again, no testing, unfortunately. I don't know if I'll even keep this built for next week, but we'll see. Being as I have 2 locals next week, I'm hoping to maybe have more decks to show you guys. I didn't even get it. I mentioned last week that there's a Wind Lightning I had there to test. I couldn't test anything, so I can't even talk about it. That's gonna wrap up the week, guys. I can't even. I don't have matchups for you and totals or anything like that because we didn't play. But these are the decks, and I hope you like them. They will all be in the description below. Let me know what you think, which one was your favorite, and how to, any suggestions. I'm always welcome to. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. Make sure to follow me on Twitch. We will be streaming Final Fantasy locals every now and then in the next couple weeks, at least once a week, hopefully. So I'll see you then. Bye.